Are grow dots safe to use in your grow? Come on, let's talk about some common concerns. But before we do, today's video is brought to you by Real Grow Lab. If you want to connect with the best growers from all over the world, get tips and tricks on how to grow the dankest plants possible, and not have to worry about the censorship we get from YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Go check out realgrowlab.com. Get all kinds of great Grow Talk Q&A. Plus, see all the stuff YouTube won't let me show you in these videos. Sign up and join our growing community over at realgrowlab.com. Or download the app at the Apple or Android App Store. Now let's get back to today's video. All right, I see. Come on, let's get into this one.
All right, man. I'm gonna give you my first objection when you first brought grow dots to my attention.
Fair enough.
I looked at them. I was like, these are covered in plastic.
Yes, it was my first objection too when I looked at them, and then I needed it explained to me that it's not plastic, okay? It's a polymer, and I had to learn a little bit about this. I'm not much of a chemist, but polymer is just a short chain that is repeated over and over again. Plastics are polymers. All polymers aren't plastics. And what I mean is that cellulose is a polymer. I'm trying to think of what else.
Rubber from trees is a polymer.
Rubber, lignin, proteins. It's just this sequence, in ours in the grow dots. It's hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon. And those are the constituents that are bonded together, and then it's chains of them over and over again, monomers into polymers. There's thousands of different combinations of polymers, and grow dots have a food grade safe polymer, so it's the same technology they use to grow your food with.
And I was actually looking this particular polymer up, and in Europe, they have stricter rules on how they're allowed to produce the food.
Yeah.
And so they use these in Europe, but by law over there, they're not allowed to have the type of polymer that degrades into what is it, microplastics?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So by law, in certain parts of the world, this technology this polymer that's on the grow dots, it's not legally allowed to degrade into microplastics.
It's a perfect segue. Let's talk about the two types of polymers. You got biodegradable and non-biodegradable.
Yeah, and I've heard non-biodegradable. I keep hearing about how horrible that is for the environment.
Sure.
Non-biodegradable, though, how does that turn into microplastics?
After a while, plastic gets hard and it just starts breaking down into little pieces, and those pieces get a little bit smaller, and it just breaks down into these tiny pieces. And once they're small enough, they can be uptaken by living things, plants, animals.
But they're still plastic.
Yeah, it's tiny pieces of plastic, and it's no good, man.
Versus when they talk about biodegradable.
Yeah, biodegradable is much different. Instead of the plastic just breaking down, just weathering into smaller and smaller pieces, biodegradable means that the microbes, the bacteria and the fungi are going to secrete enzymes that actually degrade this plastic back into its original elements. It's nitrogen, it's hydrogen, it's carbon, it's oxygen. And by the way, you can take those. One makes H2O, one makes water, one makes CO2, and then you get microbial biomass as well. So you get to feed the microbe, you get water and CO2 when you biodegrade my polymer.
All right, so I've got this infographic pulled up, and it seems like it's talking about what you're talking about.
It's really complicated, all right? But at least in 6 simple color-coded steps. You see the microorganism makes an enzyme. That enzyme attacks the plastic and it degrades it into, what do you got here? CO2 and water and other metabolites.
And they're using the word plastic. Is that kind of interchangeable? I hear plastic and polymer used as the same thing pretty often.
We talked about it, right? What is it? All plastics are polymers, but all polymers aren't plastics.
All right, so that brings up my next question is the biodegrading.
Sure.
I don't want these biodegrading in my grow.
No, they do take a while. The coating is meant to last a while, and then it does depend. Microbial activity has a ton to do with it. Temperature, just whether they're exposed to air, if they're outside. There's a lot of things. There's a few variables that will speed up biodegradation. Hey, but the most important thing to remember is when these things break down, they are not breaking down into microplastics. They're breaking down into their core components. And like I said, it ends up being water and carbon dioxide.
Okay, so I'm not just a grower. I'm a marketer. Everybody knows that about
Sure.
me. And one thing that people don't know about me is if I don't believe in a product, I absolutely will not help market it. I was very skeptical of Grow Dots when you first brought them on.
Absolutely.
And one thing that is different than like Monsanto, when I see the people that market Monsanto, I remember well, if Monsanto's safe, will you drink it? And the CEO is like, yeah, I totally would. And they give him a cup of it. And he goes, well, not on camera. You actually use Grow Dots in your grow.
Yes, I absolutely do. I hook out the cannabis up as medicine for myself. I hook it up to friends and family. I have no desire to poison them. I have no desire to poison myself. I am trying to come up, my goal, what really motivates me is to come up with a super simple way so I can turn people on to growing and then have them have success. I want them to be healthy. I want them to use cannabis as medicine. And being a synthetic grower, I have definitely gone through my share of plastic bottles. I've used a lot of plastic in my grow career, and that's why it was important when I was formulating Grow Dots to work with something and to bring something to the market that was biodegradable, that wasn't going to contribute more to this problem. But that is why we made Grow Dots the way we did. That's why we went with the biodegradable polymer over a simple plastic. That's just me. Those are my ideals. Those are my values. But what about you? Are you using organics? Are you using synthetics? Let me know in the comments. And if you dug this video, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, share this video with another grower you know, and check out the other couple videos YouTube's recommending because I think you'll dig them.